If you've been searching for that perfect Kentucky town close to Lexington, you're still looking for that small town charm, neighborhoods, schools, taxes, Toyota, restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and what life here actually feels like. And I'm going to show it all to you one stop at a time. And don't leave early because there's so much good information in this video, you won't want to miss it. Let's start with what really surprises most people who come here into Georgetown for a visit. And that's just the beauty of the town. In about the last 20 years or so, Georgetown was really just a sleepy little town until Toyota came in and really just transformed this town. And as you can see behind me, just the historic brick buildings, the walkable downtown, rolling horse farms that you'll see all on the outskirts of town, the charm of the boutiques here that you really just don't find in some of those larger cities. It really does give Georgetown this unique historic feel. And Georgetown was named after our first president, George Washington, so that's where we come up with the name of Georgetown. Check out those buildings behind me. Just really a beautiful town, and this getting ready now here for Christmas, so the town is getting decorated and it will be beautiful just in the downtown area. But this town is right around 41,000 residents here. It has really exploded here in the last 20 years or so, and this brought in so much more tax revenue. That's why there are the newer schools. But beyond just the beauty of downtown, we have the historic classic Kentucky landscape, the rolling hills and the horse farms. And then we have Georgetown College, which is one of the oldest colleges here in the state. So I want to just take you on a quick little walk right down Main Street so you can get an idea of just how historic the town is. Really, I want you to see all the flags. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'd love for you to see the lights. Beautiful buildings here just in downtown Georgetown. So what do you think about this town? I'm going to move on to the next part of our vlog. So now we're going to jump into my screen and I'm going to show you just where is this beautiful, quaint town of Georgetown in comparison to Frankfort and Lexington. So let's jump in. Here we are on our map. I want to show you our Lexington map because we always try to show just how close we are to Lexington. So you can see that Georgetown is just here, just north of Lexington. We're going to zoom in a little closer because I want you to see that you basically, from Lexington, you're going to travel north on Interstate 75 straight up to Georgetown. It's about a 25 to 28 minute drive depending on what time of day. So it's all interstate travel up here to Georgetown. So let's zoom in and take a good look at Georgetown. Now up here in Georgetown, we've got our Toyota plant that we've talked about that employs about 9,000 people. We have lots and lots of new neighborhoods. Actually, when I was driving around today, I actually saw some newer places that I don't think I've ever been into, some new neighborhoods. So I'm going to do some research in the next few weeks and try to get out some more content in those areas. But the first place I wanted to show you is right here in downtown. So if you're in downtown Georgetown, right here on Main Street, we did some of our walking here today, right here on Main Street, the beautiful shops here. Now, if you travel just west of Georgetown, about 20 to 25 minutes, it's going to take you right over here to Frankfort. And you can see Frankfort here west of my Georgetown map. Now, a lot of people live in Georgetown and they work for state government. They drive straight into Frankfort to work. And, you know, it's 460 is the road you take. It is a 2-lane road. It is a busy road. Lots of people live in Frankfort and actually drive in to work in Georgetown at the Toyota plant. So we do have a lot of traffic on that road at those busy rush hour times of day. Now let's get back over here and look a little closer. We're going to be looking at neighborhoods today that are down here all along this eastern side of Georgetown, generally because of Toyota being here. So we've got a lot of first-time home buyer or retirees buying here in this southern part of Georgetown. Then we have some, really larger homes, family homes, homes on the golf course up here in Cherry Blossom. So we're going to take a look and try to dive in to see what areas we actually have here in Georgetown. Because Georgetown sits right on this I-75, it makes it very convenient. People can, like I said, you can get on I-75, you can travel straight down to Lexington or down to Richmond, all the way down to the Tennessee border and farther, or you can go north and let me just kind of zoom a little bit and show you, just north here, you've got Sadieville, and beyond that, you have northern Kentucky, Florence, and just above that, of course, as you get up here toward the river, you're going to cross over into Cincinnati. So it's about an hour drive or so, maybe just a little less depending on the traffic, to get into Cincinnati. So the location of Georgetown makes it a very good purchase place if you're a commuter and maybe you want to live in Georgetown and you work in these other areas. Now, what is it that makes Georgetown really stand apart from other areas? That'd be the property taxes. Now, if you're relocating from out of state, you're definitely going to be interested in this. Property taxes here in Scott County, Georgetown, are significantly less than other places around here. Definitely lower than Lexington. The tax rate here in Scott County is 0.9%. So if we're looking at about a $300,000 house, it's going to put your property taxes for the year right around $2,700 a year. Now, comparing that to Lexington, if we're looking at that same $300,000 property, your tax rate there would be about $3,790. So you are saving over $1,000 a year in taxes by living here about 25 minutes north of Lexington. So that is definitely a consideration when you're thinking about how much money can I spend on a home. You've got to think about the tax rates, you've got to think about the insurance. So I like to give people this breakdown so that can help you figure out, is it worth it for you to look a little bit north up here into Georgetown? So now let's talk about where people are actually moving when they come up here to Georgetown. So we want to talk about these neighborhoods that so many people love to get into, these newer neighborhoods here in Georgetown. We've talked about the lower property taxes here. So really you could afford to buy maybe a larger house or maybe in a higher end neighborhood just because your property taxes are lower than if you lived in Lexington or Versailles. So I want to just kind of zoom in here. Let's see if we can get over here to our first little area that we wanted to look at. Let me check it out on my map. Now, Pleasant Valley, as you can see, it runs right along the edge of the interstate here on the eastern side of Georgetown. Lots of new construction in here, but there's also some houses that are a little bit older. I'm going to see if we can kind of pop in and take a look at maybe some houses in this area just to kind of give you a bird's eye view of this neighborhood. There are homes that are ranch style houses like this one, and then we have lots of two-story homes in this neighborhood. So this is a really good neighborhood, maybe selling most of them in the probably the lower to the mid 300s, depending on maybe any updates that are done on the inside. It'll give you an idea of the streets here, so you really don't have a lot around you here, but it is a very convenient neighborhood to Toyota, and it is in that lower price point than maybe some of these other ones that we're going to take a look at. Now, the next one I wanted to look at is up here in Cherry Blossom. Now, there's a beautiful golf course up here. We drove by that. We'll show you some of that. I just want you to take a look at some of these houses here. You can see the entrance to the neighborhood. Let's just see if we can take a little walk, so to speak, down the road here so we can get an idea of what these houses look like. Now, you can see these houses are all brick houses. There's no vinyl. So the houses are going to be a little more expensive in this area. I want to show you the golf course. Now, it's back here. Let's see. Now, here is the main road that we were just on, this Clubhouse Drive. You can see how many trees, how much green space that is around here. You kind of zoom out so you can get a good idea of what's around here, and I can kind of point out. Now, this is Cherry Blossom Way over here. This takes you right back into Georgetown, where all the shops are, Kohl's and Walmart and tire discounters you can see there, all those kinds of stores. Now, if we go up this direction to the north, you're going to see Toyota is here. They have this whole area is a solar field that helps to power the plant. And if we go up a little farther, you'll be able to see here is Toyota. As you can see on my map, it takes up a lot of space here in Georgetown. All of this is Toyota. So it's different parts of the plant. It is right here on the interstate, which makes it very convenient to get parts, supplies in and out of Toyota. But you can see back here to our golf course then how close we are. And people really love to be in this neighborhood. It's a very well-built homes in this area, not cookie cutter. So if you're looking for something maybe a little higher end, you don't want a cookie cutter home, you do still want to be in a nice neighborhood with a nice yard and close to the golf course, this area might be for you. Now we did look at one. Let me see if I can find it. It is Oxford Landing. So it is down here just a little bit south of Cherry Blossom. And as you can see, there's a lot of farmland still around this area, which would make it a really great place to be because there is so much green space still here. They are still building in this. I want to see if we can zoom in. Let's see if we can get in here and take a look at some of these houses. As you can see, still several lots here, new construction going on, but some really nice large homes here in this neighborhood in Oxford Landing. Gives you kind of a bird's eye view of that. Now, also we have a neighborhood it's an older neighborhood, but it is on the west side of Georgetown, and we did do a video over there recently, but I want to show it to you in comparison to these other ones. Let's see. Now here is our main street here on my map, and we were over here in this area looking today. Now this Payne's Landing, I want to show it to you here. It's just a really nice neighborhood to live in. There is a golf course over here on this side, and these houses, they do have some vinyl on them. They're larger houses, but if you are coming in and you're going to be working maybe over in Frankfort and you don't want to be on the east side of Georgetown, you might consider this side of town. Be a beautiful area to be. Now, when we were discussing neighborhoods, you'll need to reach out to me because if there is an area that, maybe we haven't shown you today that you might be interested in, you're going to need to tell me where it is you need to be, what you're looking for, so I can help you find that perfect place. Let's get back to our tour.
All right, so Toyota isn't just a factory. As you saw on our map tour, it takes up a large portion of Georgetown. It is the largest employer in the entire state, other than government. It is about 9,000 employees, including, you have engineers, you have technicians, specialists, you've got skilled tradesmen, coming in from all over the country. So they're looking for homes that are suitable, that are close to the plant, but also give them the space that they need. So it's not just laborers that are coming in to work at Toyota. Like I said, all these specialties are also coming in. And this is why Georgetown has so many new neighborhoods, because the demand is high and people from all over relocate here for Toyota jobs. This really helps to stabilize home values and supports, the contractors in the area, the suppliers, and even the local businesses. And as we saw earlier, it really has caused the economy here in Georgetown to really boom as we've had the new schools that are being built, lots and lots of new construction, lots and lots of new stores, restaurants, and that's really increased the population of Georgetown being at the 41,000 people when the towns around there like Frankfort is around 28,000, Versailles is about 10,000. And you still have Lexington as your main hub with about 318 or 20,000 people. So Georgetown is a nice size small town to be in, and that's in large part to do with Toyota.
Scott County schools are really growing here in Georgetown, and behind me you're going to see this Great Crossings High School, the newest high school that's been built here. Just really a beautiful campus. As I stated, Toyota has brought in so many new people to Scott County that they're requiring all these new schools, and that's what really is a draw for a lot of families. They want to come in and have the newer schools, clean, they're modern,
modern. The campus here is really just beautiful. And I have families all the time that say they really love the academics here, they love the athletic programs, and really what makes schools special is that you feel like you're part of the community. You know who your neighbors are, you know who the kids are in your classroom, and they're in your neighborhoods or they're in part of your community. So that really makes the school be an integral part of what draws people here into Scott County. And after school, what are the things that you can do that really help you to have time to unwind and get to know your community? We're going to touch on that next. Be sure to reach out to me if there is a home or an area here in Scott County that you'd be interested in. Give me a call, send me a text or an email. I'd love to help you find the best area, the best neighborhood for you. Now you might be asking, Lisa, what do you do here on the weekends? What do people love to do? People here love to be in the outdoors. And we're walking along here next to this waterway here in Georgetown. People love to spend time on Elkhorn Creek, either hiking or kayaking up the creek. The North Fork of Elkhorn Creek runs here right through Georgetown. So definitely a place that people love to spend time. Another thing people love to do, there's an indoor water park here called the Pavilion. People love to spend time there. They love horseback riding over at the Kentucky Horse Park. So lots and lots of outdoor activities here to do in Georgetown. Now you talk about the restaurants here. There's lots of local restaurants here. You've got Galvin's on Main Street and Fava's. You've got Rodney's on Broadway. Just a really great hometown steak place to try. Let me see if I can turn around here and give you a good look at some of the restaurants here. Right here near Main Street in downtown. You've got Local Feed here. Lots of really nice coffee shops here in the area. So plenty of things and different places to eat that are really not just, your chain style restaurants. Now, what I hear from my clients that are moving here, once they get here and get settled, what I love to hear is, did you make a good decision by moving into Georgetown? I have so many clients that really didn't start out looking for a place in Georgetown, but they did end up here. And they always tell me, Lisa, I love the neighborhood feel, the community vibe here in Georgetown. It is a small community, but 25 minutes over to Lexington, as we stated earlier. It is about 20 minutes over to Frankfort, so you're really in a very good location as far as being able to live here and commute to other areas for work. This is a community where people say, I feel like I belong here. After COVID and so much time spent indoors, and isolated, I think people are truly looking for that community feel, and you definitely get that feel here in the Georgetown area. So whether you're moving here from out of state or a few counties away, you've got to check out this area here in Georgetown. Take a look at it, see what you think about it. If you're wanting more space, new schools, great location to be, lower taxes, Georgetown may be exactly what you're looking for. So reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text or an email. I'd be happy to help you make the smooth transition here into Georgetown. And until next time, I hope to see you around town.